Okay, so my wife has bought from auction a box of old lamps. So we're going to have a go at cleaning this up. The timber shouldn't be a problem, but the old brass work and the colours on the brass, that would be interesting. So you can see that little metal bracket. Well, them two lugs there would just pop out. It's just a little clamp. See that? Yeah. And you press them together. And I'm just going to have a look to see if I can take the top off of this. Good old WD-40. I'm going to give it a spray. See in there? See this little bar there? That actually unscrews. So you see, then comes off like that. That's what you end up with. So by unscrewing that, and there's another one around the other side, I just pulled it and you release, you can see the old cables in there. But then if I undo this here, that pops off, and then that pops off. See, so now I can get to this individually. I can start to clean this all up, and I'll release that nut there and have this bar by itself. I'm going to try to just dismantle this where I can to show you. So here at the bottom, this point here, I'm just going to unscrew that. Some of these may unscrew. There's a little washer. Okay, so if I wanted to rewire this, it'd be quite straightforward, because the wires come through here, which lead to these bits here, comes down there, comes through there, comes out there, and then it goes back into there, up the stem, pops out the top. Okay, so this is much of the lamp dismembered. Just soak the glass for a little bit and then give it a wash in water, give it a good clean. The wooden block has come up really nice. And again, all I did was wash out the grime, used an old toothbrush, wash out the grime, and what I'll do before I refit it, it's in really good condition, I'll just give that a little polish. And little solid pieces of I don't know what, around the light socket itself, they look really good. I think those kind of fit there. Whereas the bit I'm really concerned about is the stem, because that really seems to have broken up bad. And I just wanted to show you here, there's some, on part of this, there's some old paint. So all I'm using is the back edge of a knife, and just very carefully, just scraping that off. Yeah, so just very lightly scraping that off. I'm going to use a very fine wet and dry paper. I'm going to try to clean up the rough edges of this metal. Just going to spray it with gold, any gold that just happens to be in the house. But as you can see, this might be a more of a copper colour. You would obviously try to match up the colours that you've got. Okay, so all I've done is laid them out on the newspaper and sprayed. Ideally, if you can sort of hang the item up somewhere as it's drying, can avoid any unwanted marks. My daughter, who is present, is playing with some water and she's trying to wash it all. So if this survives, I'll show you what it looks like when it's all put back together. Just got an old cloth here. Just going to put a little bit of linseed oil and rub it into the wood. And there you go, just a bit of linseed oil on it, and that'll dry off. But you can see it just brings out the colour again and it feeds the wood, so it's good all round for the timber. I'm now going to put all of these components together again. Okay, so just as a reminder now, I've I've put the stem back on. So next thing that goes on is this little collar, just slides over that. Comes back your plastic collar, and it's that keeps it back in position. So that goes over the top of that wire, and then it screws up. Then I rewired that together, and finally the last piece that goes on is that just tightens it all on in the end, and that will catch over onto that. And there is the finished product. I'm really pleased with that actually, it's turned out really well.